Creation versus evolution. Does it matter that we believe? Evolution cannot start until something exists. No complicated life is created. Creation is nothing but a story with not only no evidence. Why does God create the world? The third day, the end of sin and death, the beginning of new life. Luke 24 verses 1 to 12. By the end of the third day, God has created a foundational environment of light, heaven, seas, earth, and fire. Especially, He created people in His image so that they could share in His overflowing love, grace, and goodness through their relationship with the Trinity. Genesis 1. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. He had been doing. So on the seventh day, he rested from all his work. Now the Lord God had planted a garden in the east in Eden. And here is the example.
In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth and all things. A vibrant new world was born. Everything created by God was perfect and beautiful, displaying His wisdom, His goodness, and His almightiness. God created Adam and Eve in His own image, with His own hands, and breathed His very life into them. Jehovah God placed them in the Garden of Eden and told them,
Of every tree of the garden you may freely eat. But of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil you shall not eat of it. For in the day that you eat thereof, you shall surely die.
But Adam and Eve did not heed God's instruction. They gave in to Satan's temptation and ate from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. After that, mankind became more and more corrupt, evil, and decadent. They reached the highest levels of sin. They made an enemy of God and did not allow for his existence. This was why God resolved to wipe out mankind with a flood.
That was the example of God's creation. What about God? The truth is, God doesn't live in a temple or a church. The truth is, you can find God, but you must search till you realize God in the temple of the heart. God is not a statue. God is not a saint. God is a power that no human being can paint. God does not belong to any religion. God is one power. God controls birth and God controls death. Evolution refers to the ever-changing relationship between a species and its environment. The time frame for evolutionary change is 1 to 2 million years. According to the Bible, humans are said to be created from earth. Has this been scientifically proven? Example of a human evolution. I'd say there's been some pretty massive changes. In a few million years, will probably look even more different. If apes evolved into humans in the course of evolution, why haven't humans evolved into something new over millions of years? This is what a human looked like in 3 million years ago. Debate for evolution versus creation. Creationism and the study of evolution has been a controversial debate for decades now, leaving many people on one side or the other. Creationism argues that faith should take precedent over science, basing its beliefs on one book for guidance, the Bible. God created the earth and everything on it, taking 6 days. Evolutionists believe that the earth is much older than the Bible describes, and plants, animals, and humans are a result of a natural progression called evolution. There were no common ancestors, Adam and Eve, from whom we came. It was a natural selection process stemming from inorganic compounds in nature. For many people in the scientific world, it is hard to take a final stance on this issue since there is evidence of evolution. But that is where faith in God and what God has done comes into effect.